Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rachakodash. Double honors to the Apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and salutations to the Akim who are tuning into these videos. Alright, so I was meditating on the prophecies that's in Isaiah 2, and then I was thinking, because this thing right here, the ministry, this isn't really about skin color. What it's really about is fulfillment of prophecy that's written in the scriptures. So I'm just going to read this right here so you get the gist of what I was, meditating on. So it's Isaiah 2 verse 1. It says, "The word that Isaiah the son of Amos saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem, and it shall come to pass in the last days," we're in those days, says that the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established in the top of the mountains. So when it's saying the mountains here, it's speaking about, the nation, the body of Israel, the members of the family of, the descendants of Jacob. So it's pretty much saying, the nation of Israel, the descendants of Jacob, says the mountains of the Lord's house shall be established in the top of the mountains, and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow unto it. So like I was saying, I was meditating on this, how this is a prophecy that hasn't been fulfilled, because mainly, we still have to go through, a bunch of prophecies, like World War III being one of those. But before, after that, the kingdom is going to be established, and the prophecy that's written here says all nations shall flow unto it. Continue on, says, "And many people shall go and say, Come ye, and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, to the house of the Most High of Jacob, and he will teach us his ways." So this prophecy, obviously is not being fulfilled right now. So like I said, this isn't, a skin color thing, white or black thing. This ministry is about the prophecies of the scriptures. So with that in mind, you can plainly see that the people of the Lord are not put in the land of Israel right now. The Heavenly Father is not dealing with the whole nation of Israel to the point where all nations can flow unto it and learn their ways. Like all the laws that were written in the book of Moses. So pretty much it's because, the real Hebrew Israelites are the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, and the dispersed Israelite foreigners within every other nation. So one of the prophecies, World War III being one of them, is that these nations, the nation of Israel, the real nation of Israel, is going to wake up. But mainly the elect, because the majority of the nation is not going to make it. But the elect of the nation of Israel, they're going to wake up, and then they're going to proclaim these things. They're going to herald, the return of the Messiah, and then he's going to come down here, World War III, nuclear missiles and everything, and then he's going to, deliver the nation of Israel out of the hands of their captors, which right here, they're held captive over here in America, which is Babylon. Then they're going to be put over there in the land of Israel, and then the prophecy of Isaiah 2 is going to be fulfilled. So right now, the people over there are pretty much imposters. As nicely as I could say it, this video is probably going to get taken down for me saying that, but it's the truth, because this prophecy doesn't say, "And then thou shalt go to Israel and, eat pork, get a tattoo, and then celebrate gay pride." It doesn't say that. So obviously there's something missing. The thing that's missing is these prophecies need to be fulfilled. One of those prophecies is that the real Israelites, whether they be black or white or so-called, whether they look Asiatic, whether they whatever, it's the Israelites who descend from the seed of Jacob. And if you see my video that I did a while ago, I broke it down plainly, about the seed of Jacob. Those are the people that are going to be put over there, and then this prophecy is going to be established. So, to say it nicely, is the current people over there are imposters. Alright, so I'm going to finish, the prophecy in Isaiah 2. It says, "Come ye and let us go up to the mountains of the Lord, to the house of the Most High of Jacob, and he will teach us his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the law, and the word of the Most High from Jerusalem." So a little quick historical lesson of who you can identify an Israelite is mainly the best way to do it, without seeing a person's skin color, is if you see the curses that are on them right now, like the Judite women, they have baldness on their head. All Israelites have inflammation right now. Whether it be sinuses or muscle cramps, whatever you name it. It's those curses are going to find you, whether you're in New York, the land of Israel, or on some stranded island. Wherever you ended up at, the Heavenly Father is going to judge and curse His nation, especially right now, because right now we're pretty much on timeout. The Heavenly Father put us in timeout. No, but anyways, this is a historical lesson because the ancient people, the ancient Israelites were dark-skinned people. Yeah, so this is in Exodus 4 and 6. This is a way to prove it without going to, hieroglyphs or whatever. Because I'm gonna go to those precepts. Is a lot of pictures and paintings have been there's a word for it. They've been compromised. But the scriptures pretty much haven't been compromised. This is as plain as day. So this is pretty much depicting Moses and how he looked like. This is Exodus 4 and 6. It says, "And the Lord Yahweh said furthermore unto him, Put now thine hand into thy bosom." So this is the part where he was speaking to the burning bush. And then the burning bush was telling Moses to put his hand on his bosom. And continue on, it says, "And he put his hand into his bosom, and when he took it out, behold, his hand was leprous as snow." So you have to, picture how it went down. He was looking at the burning bush, he was talking to it, and the bush told him to put his hand on his bosom, his chest. And then when he removed his hand off his chest, he looked down at his hand, and pretty much all the melanin that was in his hand was disappeared, pretty much. Because the Heavenly Father can do whatever He pleases. And one of the things He was showing to Moses is that He had the ability to move elements, to move the zeros and ones in a mathematic equation. So obviously, the Hebrew Israelites, especially during the time of Exodus, is they were dark-skinned people. And I'm not gonna sit down through the whole history of our nation, because we were going off here and there, going to other places, mixing amongst the heathens. And there's the precept is Jeremiah 12 verse 9. It says, "Mine heritage is unto me as a speckled bird. The birds round about are against her. Come ye, assemble all the beasts of the field, come to devour." So it's saying pretty much it's that the Heavenly Father's heritage, the Hebrew Israelites, are unto a speckled bird. And if you've ever seen a pigeon, a lot of pigeons, they have like a regular, like, general look to them. But then, like, if you stay looking at pigeons, you're going to start seeing a lot of speckled ones. It's the same thing with sheep. You got white sheep, black sheep, and then a mix in between. The variation is limitless, pretty much. And then here's another one. There's Hosea 7 and 8. It says, "Ephraim, he hath mixed himself among the heathen. Ephraim is a cake not churned." Just to show like just a little bit of the history of the nation of Israel after Egypt is, we were going around the nations. And if you saw my last video, I explained it plainly that, if your father deals with a woman, the child is an Israelite, not the other way around. But so we're right now in 2020 year of prophecy. Esau's reign is almost at an end. But this is a prophecy that what he did is pretty much he covered the faces of the judges. He went out and he pretty much he did the thing what's called identity theft, and he compromised all these other pictures and paintings, like the one that the world knows as Jesus Christ. His real name is Yahweh Shai Hamashiach. He was actually a dark-skinned man, with white woolly hair. Even the pictures of so-called Jesus Christ have that part wrong, where his hair is not even white. You gotta question Esau on these things. So anyways, this is Job 9 and 24. It says, "The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he?" And it's asking you this question, where and who is he? We're at that time where we know who the wicked is. It's the person who's in charge of the world right now. And then right before World War III kicks off, right before the RFID chip, Mark the Beast, kicks off, the person in charge of the world is, drum roll, the so-called white man, which is actually Esau Edom, because he's not really white, he's red, and he covered the faces of the judges, making you think that Moses is a so-called white person, even though I just read you pretty much what color he was, at least his hand. But we're coming into that time where prophecy is going to be fulfilled, and regardless of Israel's current skin color, like I was saying in Jeremiah 12:9 and Hosea 7:8, through the seed of Jacob is who's going to get delivered, and they're going to get put in that land of Israel, and then this prophecy of Isaiah 2 is going to be fulfilled. So right now those guys are imposters, and we just have to wait till the sand in the hourglass falls down, for that that great deliverance. All right, here's another precept. This is 1 Maccabees 3:48. It says, and laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathen hath sought to paint the likeness of their images. Because this is speaking about Esau Edom. Esau Edom, they were created to be the wicked. Pretty much the Lord's whipping stick, because their blessing is the sword. So one of the characteristics that they have is, they have a thirst for blood. To name a few of Esau's characteristics. But another characteristic is he likes to steal people's identities. This is the scriptures right here, pretty much stating one of the characteristics of the wicked. That the earth that was given into their hands, one of their characteristics is that they cover the faces of the judges thereof, steal their identities. Because Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, he's everybody but Esau. That's what he'll have you believe. What he would have you, or what he would want you to believe. All right, so this is Baruch 2 verse. I'm gonna read from this one. All right, so this is Baruch 2 verse 30. It says, "For I knew that they would not hear me, because it is a stiff-necked people. But in the land of their captivities they shall remember themselves." And you can read that in other scriptures, how Israel, when they're waking up, all those bones and sinews are starting to get put back together, and all the nations around about are starting to get scared. Because they know that our salvation is nigh at hand. It's good for us, bad for them. It says, "But in the land of their captivities they shall remember themselves." So this is a precept to the valley of dry bones, getting those sinews back together. And if you read that, it says that that they didn't have they had a zeal according to they didn't have a zeal, but not according. They had a zeal, but not according to knowledge. But we're getting that knowledge. We're getting that breath. So not only is the sinews coming back together, but we're getting that spiritual power, which is actually, being able to chant down this wicked kingdom, and herald the return of the Messiah. That's power right there. All right, so verse 31 says, "And shall know that I am the Lord their power, for I will give them an heart and ears to hear. And they shall praise me in the land of their captivity, and think upon my name, and return from their stiff neck and from their wicked deeds, for they shall remember the way of their fathers, which sinned before the Lord." And that's what we're doing, when we're practicing these righteous acts. We're going into the history of our people, and how many times we went off, how many times we were glorious in battle or whatever. The scriptures is a big history book. But this part in Baruch 2 is pretty much talking about the prophecy of how it's going to be when we get delivered out of this wicked places. Because right before, we're going to be acting like the men who are going to be delivered out of this place, which are sighing and crying for all the abominable things that are happening, in the midst thereof. So verse 33 says, "And return from their stiff-necked ways and from their wicked deeds, for they shall remember the ways of their fathers, which sinned before the Lord, and I will bring them again into the land, which I promised with an oath unto their fathers Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and they shall be lords of it, and I will increase them, and they shall not be diminished." So this, going back into when I started, this is the prophecy that we're all waiting for, quite literally. Isaiah 2 has not been fulfilled. And so continue on verse 35, it says, "And I will make an everlasting covenant with them to be their power, and they shall be my people, and I will no more drive my people of Israel out of the land that I have given them." And why won't we ever get driven out is because when we get saved, we're going to also inherit new bodies. New bodies were pretty much the laws are going to be written in our inward parts, so that it's literally impossible for us to go off. There's like like I always think of for an example of if a heathen servant tries to, you know, throw a sly one at us, throw a slab of bacon at us, it ain't gonna happen. That bacon's gonna stop midair, and then it's gonna disintegrate. Without us even thinking to do that. That's pretty much how it's gonna play out. All right, so this is Jeremiah 16 verse 15. It says, "But the Lord liveth that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north." And the land of the north is right here. Because this is going to be the great deliverance. Because the elect of the nation Israel, they're going to be delivered from wherever they're at. Whatever island they're at. But the land of the north here in America, where the majority of the nation of Israel served their hardcore slavery, this is the place where it's going to be a great deliverance. And if you read the book of Isaiah, I believe 34, it talks about the land of Babylon, the land of Egypt. It's going to be so burnt that no one's going to be able to inhabit it. That the only things that are going to be dwelling here is going to be desert creatures, giant lizards and satyrs and doleful birds. So all these prophecies need to fit in. It's like a puzzle piece, and if you don't see this, like I read this, it says that the Heavenly Father has given us eyes and ears to hear this, but then if not, there's nothing I can say that'll make you see this. Alright, so continue on. It says, "And from the lands whither he had driven them," so from wherever, from Argentina to Canada to Brazil to any islands, the illegitimate state of Israel, London, Hawaii, Japan, wherever the elect of the nation of Israel is at, they're going to get delivered. But it states that that the great deliverance is going to be in the land of the north. And continue on, it says, "And I will bring them again into their land that I gave unto their fathers." So that thing with the Balfour Declaration, that's not a fulfillment of prophecy. Because if it was, this isn't even a skin color thing. If it was, there wouldn't be any gay parades over there. There wouldn't be any gay parades anywhere in the earth. Because the laws of the books of Moses would actually be followed. Because if not, then there wouldn't be any rain. As the scriptures say. So that's the end of this video. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachakodash, and Shalom Akim.